Final game of the group stage for the United States. It's USA and Paraguay. Russ Thaler, Kalen Carr here with you. What are the stakes?
Well, it's huge. The U.S. needs a draw or a win to advance. Paraguay has to win this game. I expect them to come out flying. The U.S. has a lot of momentum, though. A huge 4-0 win against Costa Rica when their backs were against the wall. I think they're going to carry that momentum forward, should get 3 points, and see them in the next round. Who they'll play, I'm hoping Brazil, but we have to wait to see.
All right, on a larger scale, what's at stake for the U.S. program and maybe soccer in the United States on this game?
The ratings for this tournament have been incredible. They've been through the roof. I think it was the highest rated U.S. game on Fox Sports 1 ever. That's pretty impressive. There's a lot of eyeballs on this tournament, and it's a big chance for the U.S. to really capture some new soccer fans, maybe some casuals, and get that feeling of the World Cup we had in 2014 where everyone's going to the bars, wanting to watch the games. But the U.S. has to advance to really capitalize on that. A matchup with Brazil potentially awaits. Beating Brazil, I know we're getting ahead of ourselves, but that could be a huge moment for U.S. soccer, for the program. A lot of talk heading in about some concern about where we're at as a nation. I think this could be that moment where we really cross forward and break through.
All right, let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Okay, sorry,
to
I got
the
a little excited
quarterfinals,
there. Yeah.
But let's get a little bit of a tactical breakdown now, where Simon Borg and Jay Demerit standing by at the board.
Thanks, Russ. So here's the U.S. lineup that has started the first 2 games in Copa America. This is the same U.S. lineup that got the win against Costa Rica so convincingly. If you're a player, Jay, on this squad, you're expecting to start this 3rd game as well, aren't you?
Well, I think as a player, anytime you play, start, and get a good win, you do expect to start the next game. Having said that, Jurgen Klinsmann likes to change up the lineup, and I think you don't change much. You never really change a winning defense, but I think you do tinker around because 3 games in 8 days is a real thing. So he's going to talk about fitness. He's going to talk to his physios. He's going to make sure guys, for instance, Alejandro Bedoya picks up a knock at the end of the game. For me, he's one of the changes I think you make, and I think the changes only come very slightly down this right side. So I think you change out Alejandro Bedoya. I think Darlington Nagbe gets his first start. I think he's deserved it. I think the pressure's been on to get him a start, and I think this is the game he comes on and does that. Doing so, Nagbe brings in a little bit more of offensive punch, and I think by doing that, I think you have to change out Zardes and you bring in the experienced Graham Zusi, who not will only help you get forward, but the main thing, if you are pushing Nagbe on to be more offensive, he now has more of a defensive responsibility to come back and help out DeAndre Yedlin, which I think both sets of those guys will do that.
And here's where Zeus is going to come in handy. Paraguay, in that second half against Colombia that they played so well, they brought in 22-year-old Miguel Almiron on the left wing, and he was their star of the second half. We expect him to start because their usual left winger, Romero, is out suspended. Now, this is the lineup that Paraguay has started matches with in this Copa America. Your classic 4-4-2 with 2 holding mids. The reason they were so good in that second half against Colombia, though, is because they took out one of those holding mids and instead they brought in a playmaker by the name of Victor Ayala, who was also one of the stars of the game for them. Paraguay's already saying they want to go at the U.S. They want to be aggressive. I expect them to come out with this attacking formation, the one that gave so many problems to Colombia. Now, I believe when I look at this Paraguay squad, they work just as hard as the U.S. They want to bang bodies just like the U.S., except they're younger and more skillful. They have more game breakers in attack. I think U.S. national team fans assume Paraguay, they're not a big name. They're not a big name, and so the U.S. should be favorites. I actually think Paraguay are the favorites in this game, even though the U.S. need 2 results. Paraguay only get 1.
But they're not playing at home in Philadelphia. Game 3 on the line. U.S. is going to take this one.
Good stuff, guys. Would love to know what you guys think about Jurgen Klinsmann's lineup selection for Saturday night. Leave a comment below in the comment section. Full post-game coverage right here on Club and Country on MLSsoccer.com. United States and Paraguay coverage begins at 7 p.m. Eastern Saturday night on FS1, Univision, and UDN.